It's Speaking with Gravity. On this podcast, we talk about mental health and how everything affects everything. With every episode, the goal is to have a conversation that will make you think, make you feel, make you do what is best for you. This isn't therapy, it's a podcast.
Welcome back to Speaking with Gravity. I'm your host, Kervin, and today we're going to dive into a topic, the power of mindset, and exploring the barriers that hinder our ability to change. One of the things I've come to find out is people are resistant to change for whatever reason. I mean, we know we need to change, or we should change, but we're resistant to that change. But today we have a guest with us, Ramel Brown. We're gonna come back to him. I'm gonna give this little QD of the hour real quick, and then I'm gonna come back to him and have him introduce himself. The QD of the hour. That's quotable data for you. It's like a version of fun facts for you to be able to share with your friends, your family, co-workers, church members, so you can let them know that you know about mental health. According to the book, it's a book by Dev Gahavi, I think is how you say it. He claims that about 80% of success is attributed to mindset, and only 20% to skills. This emphasizes the crucial role that your mindset plays in achieving goals and personal growth. And it ultimately boils down, and I believe our guest can be able to share his insight on this. It boils down to what you believe, believing in yourself. That being said, I'm going to allow Ramel to come in and tell a little bit about himself. Tell, your journey, how you got here, what made you decide. And I know a little bit, but you gotta talk to me like I don't know nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
We had we had an opportunity to work together. I think it was about 2 months ago or so.
Yeah, it was about 2 months ago. It was for Young Brothers Academy. I love what they're doing too for the young kids out there.
Yeah.
Trying to just show them the way, give them a path of becoming a young man and what it takes to be a young man in that transformation. So shout out to Young Brothers Academy for, connecting us and bridging us. And now we're here. Yeah.
But go ahead and tell us your journey, man.
So Ramel Brown from Greenville, South Carolina, and born and raised. I went to Greenville High School, and right after Greenville High School, I went to go to Johnson C. Smith University for my undergrad and played college basketball, part of one of the best fraternities in the nation, Kappa Alpha Psi. After that in my journey, basketball wasn't going the right way that I wanted. My mom had some severe health issues at the time that was life-threatening, and I failed like 3 classes in college,
Wow.
So at that point in my life, I was questioning myself heavy, trying to figure out, what I needed to do for myself. And, just like, am I tripping? Am I crazy? Like, what, the typical questions of how I'm to figure, like, what's going on? And so what was so dope about it is we had a therapist on campus and
at Johnson C. Smith.
Okay. And free counseling. I don't know if it's at other universities, but they do free counseling and everything. So I took my chances and I was just like, why not? I needed somebody and another outlet to talk to. Basketball at the time wasn't my outlet because I had a love-hate relationship. And my mom, she wasn't doing well, so I couldn't just go to her. My friends was there, but it's like you with your friends and you feel alone, or you constantly thinking about what you got going on and still trying to fake the funk. And I was sick and tired of trying to fake the funk at that time. And I think I was sophomore going into my junior year, but
Are you the only child?
I am an only child, but I do have a brother He's in high school. He's getting ready to go into his senior year. I'm definitely trying to show him a good way. But yeah, I grew up an only child. But yeah.
So you're at Johnson C. Smith sophomore year. Yeah, your mom going through the health issues, love-hate relationship with basketball. So it's probably not going the way you wanted to go.
Right.
And then you go and seek out therapy?
Yeah, I go out and I had to, because, you know, that was the only other option. Well, it wasn't the only other option. Honestly, it wasn't. But it was the only positive thing that I knew that I could get to. And something different. Literally something different. I didn't know the man. And what made it even better, as soon as I walked in the door, he was an African-American male. And he had locks. And literally, as soon as I sat down, it wasn't like, you know, I was nervous. He kind of just made me feel, you know, real comfortable. And literally from that moment, I remember walking out, I think the first or second session, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's dope. Like, how he even helped me feel a little bit more comfortable in my situation. He didn't fix my situation,
right.
Or like, you know, but he guided me or made me feel comfortable during those times, and made me feel like I couldn't give up. I didn't need to give up. You know, that there's more out there and it's change to come.
So you're at John C. Smith. You find my man with the locks,
Mr. I don't want to mess his name up. I know his last name, Mr. Derwin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Derwin.
Mr. Derwin. And then you graduate. You graduate from John C. Smith, and then you go.
Well,
where?
During that, so after that moment that I had, it kind of woke me up. I was like, wow, like, I want to do something like that, but how can I provide positivity to people? Because it was so much negativity going on. And then this was like kind of right before the pandemic happened. And I literally had started Mel's Minds around that time, where I spoke on campus about mental health. And because my undergrad was psychology, my major, so started Mel's Minds, doing speaking engagements. I started sending out daily messages to all the people in my contacts, positive affirmations, like, because we see so much negativity on social media or wherever we go. Why not show a little bit of positivity? Why not show love? Because that's what it's all about.
So you just took the initiative.
It's so vividly, like, I was staying at a friend's apartment, and I just sat on the floor because, like, I was still fighting my battles, but I was like, if I needed this, like, I'm sure a lot of people can just wake up for a positive affirmation. I don't care if you respond or not, you know, but it's something to give you that that motivation, or just to help you think about how you need to change or transform your life.
And what kind of response did you get?
At first, I didn't know what to expect, but I got nothing but support and, you know, love. Certain people would, like, respond to the messages. Some people would acknowledge, you know, what they were going through and say, I needed this, and, you know, or I needed to hear this. And, you know, for me, I was like, wow, like, just send that simple positive affirmation, like, push someone else, because you never know where somebody is, you know, gonna give up or is at in their life.
So how did you get to grad school? And where do you go?
I stayed at Johnson C. Smith.
Okay.
For my grad school, I stayed at Johnson C. Smith. And how I got into it, trying to evolve my career, trying to grow in my career, trying to figure out what that looks like. I had networked with professors and people and trying to ask questions. So they told me I needed to go to be a therapist. I needed to get my master's of social work. And so I said, why not just stay at Johnson C. Smith? I already built a foundation. Let me continue to, like, make that foundation a little bit stronger before I venture out. So
Mel's Mind was started in undergrad, right?
Yeah, Mel's Mind started in undergrad.
And then after undergrad, did you take some time off before you went to grad school, or you went straight into it?
Nah, with my mind, well, the type of mindset that I had, I was just such an ambitious mood and such a go-getter. Still am, but I needed to figure out, educate myself. The more knowledge that I had and I applied that knowledge, I seen the benefits and what it did for me. So
when you say mindset, so did that mindset change throughout undergrad, or would you just automatically just had this mindset of I'm going to get it? this is what I do.
I will say like maybe I'm not gonna give myself the full 100%, but you know, I'll say when I got to college, it hit me. It made me realize like life ain't sweet, you know, and it comes with many things, not just one thing, but it's a lot of factors that play a role. So I knew that I couldn't give up, and I knew that I love a challenge. So anything to better my personal development or whatever the case may be, I'm up for the challenge. And that's kind of how that was my approach. That's my perspective on it. When it came to undergrad, college, the master's program, even continuing to build Mel's Minds, that was my.
And what was the thought process behind Mel's Minds? And is that that's what's next to you?
Yeah. So I do Mel's Minds. Maybe 2 years later, I started my own apparel line with my cousin Philippe Griffith, a close friend of mine. We started a clothing line to just promote that positive affirmation, the clothing line, and the goal for Mel's Minds is to enhance the mental stability in our community, because for African Americans, mental health was taboo. Having a therapist was taboo, and you know, it was like, really, we gonna talk about, you know, what I got on my mind internally, or we gonna really sit here and talk about my feelings? Like, that's gonna work or help?
Yeah.
You know.
So you started Mel's Mind and then the apparel after Mel's Mind, but it is a part of the apparel. Sure. Is a part of Mel's Mind.
Apparel is a part of Mel's Mind. So I've been. And it was such a process of even getting it started.
Really?
But yeah, for sure, because it's a process. I failed a couple times just trying to figure out how to get this going. But luckily, I was able to network with another good teammate of mine, Jamaica Murphy. She helped me as well with this, starting it. But I needed something visually to put out, you know, something that when you put it on, it's like I feel better about myself, or it's just a message. Stick to the plan, you know. It's a constant reminder of where I am in my life. And when I made this, I needed to stick to the plan. And that's what I've been doing. And every collection has a different meaning. So even when you check the website, www.melsminds.com, you'll see other things as far as resources and stuff. But every collection has a different name for a meaning. So, yeah.
So with Mel's Minds, right? Is Mel's Mind a practice, private practice, coaching? What are you providing? Is it just psychoeducation information that you're giving to individuals?
I'm gonna be honest.
Or is it developing? It's still developing.
It's still developing. I'm not sure if I want to lead it into the practice. More of like just providing that psychoeducation, that information, that community service, and just definitely a brand, something to definitely mark myself. It's definitely a brand for sure.
Now you are a therapist. You do provide.
I do. So I do provide therapy. I am a licensed clinical social work associate right now. In a year, I will be getting my LCSW for sure when I pass the exam. As well, I am family-centered I do family-centered therapy, and I am family-centered certified.
So what has that experience been like? So you talked about it from the standpoint of when I was at John C. Smith, I met Mr. Derwin. He made you feel comfortable. Yeah. So being on the other side of it, how has that experience been for you, being the person talking to people that's coming?
It's definitely eye-opening. It's very eye-opening, and I love it. I'm passionate about what I do, but it also has shown me there's a lot of humans like us going through a lot of things and don't know how to like manage it, go about it, and they just need some support, or they just need, you know, someone to guide them, or they need that healthy habits, or whatever the case may be. And that's the thing, is different. Everybody is different. And that's why I love it constantly, because it gives me the flexibility to engage with different people from different backgrounds, different environments. Just it's a lot that comes with it, but I love it. I love it.
it's interesting when you say that everybody needs something different. Somebody might need encouragement to pick up healthy habits. Somebody might need coping skills. There might need to be interventions provided for them, or just education. You know, I was listening at someone who was talking about. I think I was listening to a podcast, and somebody was saying how just having a diagnosis to explain why they're feeling the things that they're feeling, why they're doing what they're doing, was comforting to them. Yes. To gain a better understanding of themselves.
And that is the whole thing about, you know, that whole process of, you know, the mindset, the change, the transformation, that transition of trying to figure out yourself. But that's where you need to start. And once you start kind of putting some pieces together, you're able to kind of create your own story, create who you are. And I have and I ask a lot of people this, even when I was in undergrad, you know, what would you name this chapter in your life?
Oh, wow.
You know, like, so
if you had to hit me with that, I wouldn't even know what to say right now.
And I get that response. And I tell people to just dawn on it, you know, because we open up I think of it as opening a book. We're our own author. And so when we're doing that, it's like, how intentional can we be about this chapter? Or what can we put in this chapter? Or what is the name of this chapter? What's going on? And why is it this name? And it kind of helps you guide yourself.
That's very interesting. I might have to steal that one from you.
Do that.
And use it. What are we discussing mindset, and you mentioned your mindset. Really from the beginning is you've always been ambitious.
Yeah, most definitely.
But your style of ambition has changed over time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you, and I don't know if you really have the answer to this. I don't know if there's an answer, if it's more opinion based.
Yeah.
But what different types of mindsets would you say you've seen, witnessed, came across? Yeah, what different types of mindsets?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I've seen many different mindsets because, like I said before, everybody is different. Everybody, you know, brings something different to the table. And for myself, you know, I'm gonna speak for myself, but you know, I have certain people that are on my side and on my team. I know for a fact, you know, they might not be as ambitious as me, but they work different than me. So I have to kind of meet them where they are to understand that language, because as humans, we, like you said, we different, but we have to just understand each other and figure out, how do you work best? Where is this person good at to, you know, be their best, or, you know, do what they do best. And yeah, I don't have that answer, but I have seen different mindsets. Yeah, and I think it's important to note too, in regardless of what you identify your mindset is, you don't always have to change it, even though we are talking about changing. You don't have to change it. Just having the ability to work within that framework. Now, here's the thing: if you have a negative disposition, right? You have a negative mindset. You don't have to, you don't even have to change that, but you got to know that the world is going to be received. I'm going to receive the world one way because of that, and the world is going to receive me one way because of that. Literally.
That's that emotional. And I think me and you talked about that when we met, about that emotional intelligence that you got to have.
And you have to, and it's so important to have that, because like, everything around us is changing constantly. And it's not for you to change as quick as it's changing, but for you to adapt, and for you to be able to control yourself and know how to manage the things that you have, the ingredients that you have within yourself to make it work for yourself, you know. And it's hard. It's definitely hard, especially when you're dealing with emotions, because you know, some people don't know how to handle their emotions or manage their emotions or even know what their emotions are.
How long have you been doing the counseling for are you doing it full time?
Yeah, I am doing it full time. So to be honest, I've only had my license for a year.
Yeah.
So, and I've definitely learned so much, and that's why even I'm getting ready to get my certification as a sports therapist, social worker, in a year to kind of work with high school, collegiate, and then professional athletes.
Okay. You definitely have to deal with mindsets when it comes down to that.
Definitely got to deal with mindset.
Especially when you, I was watching a documentary, in this case, talking about, this might be before your time.
You good.
There was this guy named Nick. I cannot remember Nick's last name. But Nick played with the Orlando Magic, and this is when Jordan came back after playing baseball. I think it was when Jordan came back. I don't know. Get me in line. Anyway, he lost the game for Orlando Magic by missing 4 free throws in a row, and was never quite the same. And he talked about it in that particular documentary, how that missing those, and he was, I think, a 80% something free throw shooter, and so they missed 4 in a row.
That's tough. And
he just couldn't get over that particular mindset. So that I'm assuming that's the type of thing that you would be dealing with.
Yeah, most definitely that. Just substance use, just not being able to play to their ability because of distractions, or just them getting in their own way, and that's what we tend to do, is get in our own way sometimes.
You said distractions, which brings up we can be distracted.
Yes.
That can affect our mindset, our experiences. In general, affect our mindset.
It's critical to the point where, because you're hearing, you haven't been on vacation, you're not living life, you're renting property, you wasting money, you don't have a car, you need to get up and get a car. Those type of phrases we hear constantly. It's like those critical people are going to always talk, and we have to understand just to do what we want to do and understand that that's the outside noise.
It's funny you said traveling, cars. Man, the generation behind me, they do the most traveling every time I turn around on IG or somewhere, somebody's going somewhere, they doing something, I'm mad.
I feel you.
I'm mad because they're doing it, but in the same token, I probably had the opportunity to do that when I was younger, but my mindset wasn't there. Because of my experiences, I wasn't seeing. Social media wasn't the way it was now, so I wasn't seeing how you can manipulate situations to be able to go on vacations for an extended period of times, or multiple times.
And that right there, that whole phrase you put in is how we have evolved. And constantly evolving to the point of making it available for us to have that flexibility to do those things, or the opportunity to do those things, like you were saying. So I definitely agree.
And then with the evolving, if the world is constantly evolving, right, then it's going to affect us. If it's going to affect us, being aware of how I feel when this change happened at this moment in time, when it happened back then, being aware of that can help me decide on if I want to stay the same or if I want to move.
And what's so funny, that's the great thing that I've learned about just change overall and being a therapist is that, there's 5 steps to it, but at the first step is the pre-contemplation stage. And that's where we are just unaware. We don't even know that we want this change or we need this to change, but that's the thing that has to change. In order for us to get to that next step, it has to change. Internally, we might know, but we are still, I'm good on it, or we just, until somebody points it out, and as therapists, that's sometimes what we do, or we, make a suggestion on.
Well, I think one of the unique things too about when we're talking about therapists, everybody have their style, right?
Yes.
So Typically, I'm gonna practice CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, for those who don't know what CBT is, or ACT, ACT, acceptance commitment therapy, Adlerian therapy. I kind of dive into that. But whenever you go to a therapist, you're gonna get what they know and what they study.
Yes.
So when you was talking about the change thing and the base of it, like, that went over my head because I don't.
No, yeah, you fine, yeah.
That one I hadn't studied that one. Now I'm gonna have to go home and look that up.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of being able to have to go see different therapists, because they're gonna bring different things to the table.
And that's what I tell, especially like our people, our culture, our African American people, that, you know, you might meet your first therapist and you might not like them, or you might not, you know, mesh with them, because it's a relationship. And I tell my clients that we're building a healthy relationship here. So the goal is to, you know, be open, be willing to, you know, to get to understand me and my approach, and I'm gonna understand you and your approach. Just be honest. And that's the thing with building those relationships, is just understanding. And as a therapist, me understanding in all my relationships that, you know, everybody is different, and we have to connect and understand each other, not to, you know, be right or wrong.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's it can be beautiful. I like how you said that you're building a relationship as you go along. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
Some people have that ability to kind of make a difference from the beginning, like the very first session. But if they can do that in that first session, it's gonna keep going.
It's gonna you like, I have some clients that I've grown a huge relationship with that, you know, they text me what their kids got going on, and I love that, because it shows me that they're on another side from where they were. They're past that, and they're growing and they're enjoying their life. And that's what it's all about, is enjoying your life the way you want to enjoy it, embracing the things that you want to enjoy. Because right now, we building right now, you know.
So let's talk about some things when we are talking about change. Some things that we can do. I'm looking at my notes here.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on self-reflection, self-compassion, or reframing negative thoughts? Yeah. If you got something, you can jump in. If not,
I'm huge. No, okay. Yeah, I got you. I'm huge, because I think self-reflection was another key point that I learned that got me to the next point. One thing I do myself is I journal in my notes. And I mean, like, I could show you, like, I journal, like, in my notes.
Yo, you do yours on the phone?
On my phone, just because I don't mind writing, but when I write, it's just like if I'm planning or structuring or strategizing. But like, you can see it now, like this, it's a chapter 1, boom, boom, boom. I'm just talking.
You the chapter guy.
Yeah. I'm talking to myself. But one thing that I do as far as self-reflection is, today's what, August 12th. I'll go back 2 years ago on August 12th to see what was going on? What was I doing on August 12th at this time? And just to kind of put me in that environment, or that mindset of like, okay, where have I grown? What mistakes were I making? Have I bettered my mindset in it? Or am I still doing the same stupid stuff? And sometimes, Mel, you still doing the same stupid stuff, but I have to, like, take that accountability in myself and that self-reflection. I have to be real with myself. I have to.
So self-reflection for you looks like not only writing in your journal to reflect on the day at hand, but going back, maybe a year or two later to see, all right, what was that day like at that time, and where am I at now?
And it's helping me, like,
that's powerful. That's powerful.
Thank you. It's helping me, you know, understand my past and understand what like I said, the good and the bad, because I have to do that. As bad as it sounds, sometimes you have to put yourself through that to understand yourself a little bit more, or where you're missing these puzzle pieces to kind of fit them in. And then, like I said, once that pain, you welcome it, you embrace that pain, but you don't let it overstay its welcome, because if you let it overstay its welcome, it's going to follow you in that next chapter that we talked about. It's still there in that next chapter, and we still in that same cycle.
And not only is it there, it's like you say, in the same cycle is influencing your decision making from day to day.
Yes.
And I mentioned earlier, self-compassion, but compassion in general, having empathy. I try not to share too much when we're talking about
I know
therapy sessions with people. But I remember talking to an individual about a mistake that was made, right? And the individual was talking about they were okay because they had asked for forgiveness, they had reached out, asked for forgiveness, received that forgiveness, and then I posed the question, because we're talking about self-compassion, right?
Right.
I posed the question, have you forgave yourself?
That's the biggest.
When we're talking about forgiveness,
yeah,
it's not just, okay, this person is, I'm extending my hand and this person is taking my hand and shaking it. It's not just that. It's not. You gotta forgive yourself too. You have to accept the fact that
you have to.
Is what it is.
And what, like you said, you have to accept the fact that to forgive and forgive yourself. And I love that because we go through this guilt trip, this ashamed feeling of putting ourselves through this, but and I consider myself holistic, but that's the part about all the factors in yourself. You put yourself through this, and this is what you wanted at that time in your life. This is what you were wanting to embrace and engage in. Don't be upset because you did that. At that time, that was cool, and it rode its ride till it could. And that's where you gotta accept that and forgive yourself. Like, it was a good ride. I enjoyed it. It was good times. It was bad times. And once you're able to, like, as we say, put your chest up and chin up and face it, it will be a easier ability to handle that next chapter or that next phase in your life that you go through the same thing.
It's definitely a journey, man.
No, it's a journey, and that's why I don't know. In my notes, it's literally the name of my book is called The Journey of the Mind.
Okay.
So it's definitely dope because perception versus perspective is a huge thing that I love to talk about.
So when you coming out with that book?
I don't know, man.
I like the title.
Thank you.
The Journey of the Mind.
I appreciate it.
And then, again, referencing what I said earlier about reframing thoughts. If we're talking about mindset and shifting your mind, having self-compassion for yourself, reframing your thoughts and self-reflection. Now, when I think of reframing thoughts, one of the things I like to do in therapy is challenge people's thoughts, right? So, when you're saying, man, this always happens to me. What do you mean by always?
Right.
Let's break this down. How many times has it actually happened?
Yeah, for sure.
And then in comparison, like, okay, my car always breaks down. Well, how many times do it break down every month? Nope. Yeah. Do it break down every year? Well, it just seems like every new car I get, it breaks down at least once. How many new cars you got? Oh, I done had 2. I had 3. And it just, what it really boiled down to maybe is that it broke down at an inconvenient time.
A bad time, most definitely.
Or once it broke down, which, things break down, what was your response? What did you do? Did you handle it well? I handled it well, and this is what I did, and it came out okay with me. All right, now let's start reframing that.
Right.
Let's stop with the woe is me.
Woe is me, and reframe that. And that's the best part that I do love about the therapy, because even though I need a challenge, the challenge is for you to think a little deeper. Think a little bit about, what you're saying. And sometimes I joke with my friends. I say that out loud again. Like, say it one more time here, because for real, like, we'll be in conversation, or we'll probably be back and forth, and I'll be like, wait, slow down, like, say that out loud? Like, did it make sense that you said that? Or like, how does that sound? Because we'll speak too fast and not even know that we're saying negative things or we're speaking negative thoughts before we even jumped into it, before we even tried it. You know, it's hard and it's difficult, but if we slow down and take our time with ourselves, it'll help us control that negative and that positive thinking.
I like when you said that, because people always say, what is therapy going to actually do? They can't solve my problem. What does talking do? But you said it when you ask them to repeat it again. When you're repeating stuff or when you're saying stuff out loud, you're thinking like,
wait, what?
That don't make sense, or that do make sense, or it don't make sense, or wait a minute, I ain't mean it like that. Then you trying to explain it like, well, wait, did I mean it?
Exactly.
You know, I remember being in a argument with somebody, going back and forth, and the person was justified in their argument, right?
Yeah.
And I recognized that. I was like, dang, my bad. It's my fault.
Yeah.
You're right. And that the person received it, but they kept going. I was like, all right, so what now?
Right, like,
I apologize, and I
like,
said you right. Like, do you feel better about yourself now that you done continue to go off on me?
Right.
and the individual was like, nah, actually I don't. I'm mad. What you mad about? I ain't even mad about that no more. I don't know why I'm
just
mad.
Yeah, and that'd be the funny thing is like, so you just mad?
Yeah.
You gotta, yeah.
You know, I guess I wonder how it is for people who like your friend, my friend, and I'm not saying that I intentionally put therapeutic stuff out there, but like for you to argue with me, it's not like arguing with somebody.
No, yeah. So I mean, to be honest, with a good bit of my friends, all of my friends that I consider my friends, I definitely do that with them. Just because, like I said, sometimes I want to build that healthy relationship with them and continue to, keep them on their toes when they're bettering themselves as well. So I definitely try to put that out there. And sometimes, I just keep it to myself because it's not the time to be doing that. Because I go back and forth with you, my friends at least, my friends.
Yeah, I have this thing. It's on a shirt somewhere. You need to teach me how to get in.
Yeah.
But sit with a therapist because the conversation is different, right? Because
that's dope.
It really
that's a dope
is.
Saying, yeah. No, it's very
really
different.
is.
It's very different.
It's where we do. I think my nephew asked me, "Do you know how to turn it off?" Like, yeah, I do, but it'll come back on.
It'll come back. Oh yeah, it'll switch back on real quick. It'll
Yeah.
switch. I catch myself and I'll be like, I gotta stop. Or I'll be in conversation. I was like, I can't stand myself because it's like, one answer is the therapist answer, and then the other one is, and there's no difference, but it's like, it's more of a different approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say it's no difference. I disagree. I think it is a difference. Because if I just give you my answer, right, I'm giving you straight off my emotions.
Right,
Just stay off what I feel.
Okay.
But if I'm giving you the therapeutic answer, what's that? If we have some type of a code of ethics, and it's to do no harm, right? So my response is sheltered with do no harm.
Right,
So
gotcha.
if I give you that therapeutic, that's what I'm giving you.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you...
Oh yeah, straight up.
Yeah, straight up. This is my natural reaction, and this is what it is, okay?
Right, straight, no.
Now, you can do what you want to do.
Right. You can do what you want to do with this information that I'm giving you, but this is straight what it is. But yeah, okay. I got you. I agree.
As we come to an end, how can people find you? I know we've alluded or talked about Mel's Minds, but right now I kind of want you to use this as a commercial. But just how can people get in contact with you? And what are you doing? What do you put? What you about to do? I need you to put that in the atmosphere. I need you to speak it into existence.
Trust, I was gonna do that for sure because, like I said, just the power of it. Even when you sent me when we were talking about doing this, it was no issue for me to because I love opportunities like this to be on this platform to put myself out there, but also brothers like ourselves to show them that there's another way, that you can actually do this without it being entertainment. You can be successful without it being some type of rap career. Nothing's wrong with it, but it's like, how many millionaires or successful people do you really know that are not in the entertainment business, or rappers or sports players, you know?
Yeah.
So
hopefully me one day.
yeah, you feel
And
me? And that's where, you know, that's the goal of it. Just continuing to build these networks and this community, this village that we have, and keep pushing. So, Ramel Brown, I'm located in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I do travel to do public speaking events for athletes, school, or surrounding mental health businesses to help, you know, build relationships, as well as I'm getting ready to get my certification to be a sports therapist, and in a year to work with professional athletes on their mental health and just the team overall as well, team building. My apparel line collection just dropped, Stick to the Plan. Please check it out on www.melsminds.com. Energy is everything. Everything is energy. We got what you need. And also resources. Whatever you need, I can do to help. You know, my page, IG, MELS, 2_ MINDS. And I do have a Facebook page, Mel's Minds. You can reach me there as well. And I do individual, group therapy, all of that. So please reach out.
So he's definitely on social media, and he's active. You know, sometimes we find therapists are not active. He's active on there. So you'll be able to find a Mel's Minds anywhere.
Oh yeah, we content definitely. That's another thing I appreciate. Shout out to Director Fuego, my partner. She does a lot of a good bit of my content. No More 9 to 5. Definitely a business about, you know, just helping build the community as well, getting your message and the content out there. She does creative directing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
No More 9 to 5.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta
That's
look her
dope.
up.
You got to check her out.
Yeah.
She did great work. Y'all need a creative director. That's who you need to go to. No More 9 to 5.
And she in Charlotte though.
She in Charlotte.
Okay.
She wherever you want her to be. You feel me? We can make it happen because that's what it's all about. Like I said, we growing and we really making this thing happen, and it's in a different light. Like, not just, people think mental health is just, oh, we're gonna sit here and talk about your
lay
day
on the couch.
You feel me? Or we're gonna lay down and we're gonna bring you energy. Energy is everything, and everything is energy, and it's just a different little taste, a little seasoning to it.
Now with the sports therapy, once you get more into that, there's gonna be more of a individual thing, or it's gonna be a team thing. Like, how does that work?
So I'll have to do, like, I'm getting ready to jump. I have classes when I get back from vacation, but
and you've been on vacation all summer, ain't you?
No. I've been working. I've been working. I'm actually I'm getting ready to go to Greece for 8 days.
Okay.
But when I get back, we do have a certification program. I do it for a year, and then I do an internship.
I hate y'all young people.
with like a high school, with a high school or something, and then I'll probably work with a MLB team or NBA team or football team, whatever. Hopefully, whatever I can get into. Okay. And working with different players, hopefully coaching staff, all of that. I'll be in the mix.
Okay. So when you holler at LaMelo Ball to try to get me some shoes or something.
Oh, trust
like
me,
that.
I cannot. You know, when we talking about it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be there. You know, because I definitely would love to come back and be like,
yeah, we did that.
We did that. We talked about here your shoes. Boom.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming and sliding through and talking to us. For those of you listening, here's my call to action. Again, subscribe to Speaking with Gravity on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We'll make it easy for you and put it in the show notes. Also, with Gravity Counseling Group, we provide a wellness group every fourth Wednesday of the month. And it's for men, BIPOC men. We're trying to validate, educate, and support each other.
Word.
And so,
That's what's up.
I'll probably ask you at some point
for
to
sure.
come through and
definitely.
facilitate 1 month
Yeah.
for that. So I try to do it. I try to have different people
Yeah.
that's going to
dope.
come in and facilitate those groups,
dope.
and that's free. So
Free.
no excuses.
Yeah, like
It's free and it's in person. I don't do it virtually for just privacy reasons. I want people to be really, really comfortable.
I agree.
Shout out to Mr. Winston once more and again
Shout out
for
to Mr. Winston.
holding us down with the audio and the visual production.
Facts.
You can find him on winstonjstewart.com. Check out all the stuff that he got going on. And thank y'all for taking the time to listen to us. Again, we very, very grateful.
No, I appreciate it
for you
again.
sliding through
I can't
with your
wait to come
knowledge.
back and we have more to talk about. Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you gonna do it again? You come back again?
Oh, what? Yeah,
Okay.
we
Winston, you heard that, right?
We locked in, yeah, for sure. I love the energy was great here, the environment. Yeah, I loved it. It was dope.
The reason people that listening, I'm asking him, is he sure? Because that's a 2-hour drive for him.
Oh,
to come here. But
man.
Yeah, but hey, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, stuff like this is like, it's needed.
You putting in your time and effort to get the message out.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
shows your passion when it
Because
comes down to
hopefully,
this.
I'm not looking for it to touch 500 people. I'm looking for it to touch that one person. And, hopefully, like I said, it takes that one person, to keep going, not give up on themselves. So,
each one teach one.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all, man, for taking the time to listen to us. Y'all can be doing anything in the world, but you chose to listen to us, watch us on YouTube, and we appreciate that. This isn't therapy. It's a podcast.
Yeah.